Hey, what's going on? So today I wanted to talk about one of the biggest topics that I try to focus on when it comes to my coaching and my program, which is restrictions. So what are restrictions? It's pretty much where you're, allowing yourself not to have a certain thing, whether it be a certain food, a certain type of food, a certain activity. So those are all restrictions, and I'm huge against restrictions for many different reasons. But to start off, number one, is not healthy at all. The thing is, if you constantly keep restricting yourself from a certain type of food, a certain type, let's just say carbs or bread, or restricting yourself from like going out to a certain event, over time it's going to be very mentally draining and it becomes toxic after a while. I know the way I'm saying it might be a little dramatic, but the thing is, the more often you're restricting yourself, the more your body, your mind just becomes prone to, not having something in an unhealthy way. So that same thing used to happen to me. I used to think that, okay, if I cut out carbs, if I cut out bread, I'll lose fat. And yeah, it does happen in the short term. But the thing that happened to me in the long term was when I would go out to eat with my friends or family, or if I was on vacation, I would just be I would have anxiety. Like I wouldn't, if I went out to a restaurant and didn't have options that would kind of suit that new diet that I was doing, I wouldn't know what to do. And that's one thing I notice a lot with people who are restricting themselves from certain things, from certain food, whether it be to look a certain way or to feel a certain way. Over time, you're just gonna create a very unhealthy relationship with food, with activities, with the people around you. That's just why I'm not a huge fan of restrictions, number one. So the number two reasons why I'm not a big fan of restrictions is because it's not a long-term solution, it's a short-term solution. So if you're trying to get ripped quick, if you're trying to lose weight quick, yeah, it could, restrictions can definitely help you out with that, but it's not going to be sustainable. What you're going to notice is, again, you're not developing healthy habits, and in order for you to sustain a certain type of result, a certain type of physique, let's just say you want to lose 30 pounds. If you want to sustain that long term for years to come instead of just for a certain event, then you're going to have to create long-term healthy habits. But the thing is, if you're going about it through restrictions, that's not going to happen. It's only setting you up just for the short term, not for the long term. And number three, again, touching upon the habits again. If you want to build long-term habits, if you want to have long-term sustainable results, you're going to have to focus on those small habits. And it doesn't happen overnight. You're going to have to trust the process. It's going to take months. For some people, if you've never even done it before, it might take you years. So if you're trying to lose fat, if you're trying to build muscle, if you're trying to sustain that lean physique you've always wanted, have that confidence, just be mentally free and, do it while actually enjoying the foods that you like, while enjoying the trips, the events with your friends and family, then you're gonna have to have those long-term habits. And a lot of what I do focus on is helping you create those long-term habits so you can actually sustain that long-term, and that, you can get to a point where you don't need someone looking over your shoulders. You can kind of do it for yourselves, because you mentally and physically you have those habits ingrained in you. So you're just mentally clear of any kind of stress that comes with the restrictions that I have mentioned earlier. So yeah, long story short, if you've gone through trying to lose fat quickly, trying to lose weight quickly through restrictions, whether it be through restricting yourself from certain carbs or certain type of foods, again, you might have noticed yourself bouncing back and kind of going through that same hamster wheel of losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight, and not being able to sustain that long term, is because you're not focusing on the long term habits. You're focusing more on restrictions. So again, if you are interested in figuring out how to actually implement healthy eating habits, healthy training habits, healthy just living habits in general, in order to actually sustain the weight loss and the fat loss that you're working towards, I would definitely love to go a little bit deeper into that. But yeah, if you're interested in learning more, definitely shoot me a message, and we'll talk to you soon.